Welcome to Colts Law. I'm Lawrence Owen, where we talk Indianapolis Colts, but remember, we talk about the rest of the NFL as well. And in today's episode, we are going to talk about that 2021 Indianapolis Colts season schedule, right? Tough as nails. Now, I think a lot of pundits have them based off last year's opponent records, like the 22nd in the NFL, but that's only because, quite frankly, you got the Jags, who was a one-win team that the Colts play twice, and then the Texans, which was a four-win team that the Colts play twice. The only team outside the division that had less than 7 wins that they play, I mean, good Lord, is they have two. The Jets, and then you got the Niners. And the Niners aren't a bad team when they're healthy. Last year, they got demolished by injuries. This year, expect them to be a very, very, very good team. So we are going to now. So we're going to go and look at this schedule and realize, oh my goodness, the Indianapolis Colts, in my opinion, is a better team than what they were last year in 2020. Better. But they may actually have a worse record or equal record, even with an extra game tacked onto the schedule than what they had last year. Because, quite frankly, outside the division, this schedule is holy crap, right? Oh my goodness, you can't ask for a harder schedule. It's got to be the hardest schedule outside of division than any other team in the NFL has, okay? And it starts off with the Colts hosting the Seattle Seahawks September 12th at 1 p.m. Seattle, right? They just got Carlos Dunlap to help them with their pass rush. They got Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf. It's going to be a solid game at 1 o'clock. Now, I think that this is a situation where the run game will come in handy. And I think the Colts will run the ball very, very well, even with Adams, the safety for Seattle, playing pretty good as well himself. I think the Colts are going to lean heavily on the run game, with Eric Fisher probably still kind of rehabbing that knee of his. So I give them a W because I don't think Seattle will be on the field. Russell Wilson won't have the opportunities that he'll normally would want to win that game. Week 2 against the Rams, September 19th, 1 o'clock. Hosting the Rams at 1 p.m. Now, I raised some I raised some eyebrows when I stated I feel if Matt Stafford plays to the level that I believe he could play at, he is such an upgrade over Jared Goff that I honestly believe that the Rams are the best team in the NFC. Why is that? Well, I mean, they had the best defense already, right? The best defense in the NFC, in the NFL. Plus, they got tons of weapons, a good run game, great weapons to throw to. They were missing a quarterback to put it all together. A reliable quarterback. And Matt Stafford's that guy. Plus, they went out and got a few other guys in free agency in the draft. So, yeah, toughest game I think the Colts will play. Second toughest game I think they'll play, actually, because it's at home. So you're going to have a little bit of momentum with that. But I still, man, again, I don't think Eric Fisher will be playing this game. I don't think he'll be ready by week 2. And they have defensive MVP over and over and over, Aaron Donald. And you think you're going to see Aaron Donald versus Quentin Nelson because he's a defensive tackle? No. Aaron Donald plays all across that defensive line. And I will guarantee you they are going to put Aaron Donald on the outside against Tebby or whoever it is that is going to be holding down that left tackle spot for the Colts. I got the Rams defeating the Indianapolis Colts week 2. Week 3, they travel to Nashville to take on the Tennessee Titans, September 26th at 1 o'clock. This is a game. I think the Colts and the Titans are pretty equal, except their defense was not great. I agree with a lot of pundits that they did take a step back, but they're not a terrible team. They're well coached. They still got Derrick Henry. They still have Ryan Tannehill, who has proven himself to be a good quarterback. Now, they don't have Jonnu Smith no more, right? They don't have Davis on the outside. But they still have a couple decent receivers that they've went out and they've got, plus, Brown. So, and they went out and they got Danico Autry and another pass rusher as well to help them out on defense. They got some decent corners. This is against the Tennessee divisional game. Division games are always tough. So I'm going to split with them. And I think that since it's at home, at Nashville, technically, I think they lose this game and the Colts fall to 1-2 at week 3. And this is where people start to freak out. Oh my goodness, Carson Wentz ain't good enough. Then we start talking. Then they travel again. By the way, that Tennessee game is the beginning of a 3-week road stretch. Because next they go to Miami and play the Dolphins on October 3rd at 1 o'clock. Another 1 o'clock game. And Miami, they got a heck of a defense. And they went and drafted Jalen Phillips, who, in my opinion, was my guy over Pay. I had Pay and Phillips very close together. I liked Phillips just a slightly bit more than Pay. But I like them both, but he's definitely going to help that Miami defense out. This game is about Tua. Is Tua going to be reliable enough? In my opinion, I think Wentz is a much better quarterback than Tua. I take away last year for Carson Wentz because of, just a really utterly bad team all the way around them. Injuries across the offensive line, no weapons on offense with injuries. Their defense was playing under par. The whole situation in the locker room and the front office was not going well. You take away that, Carson Wentz, the rest of his career in Philly, played pretty darn good. I think Carson Wentz is better than Tua, and I think that the Indianapolis Colts defense is on par, if not slightly better, than the Dolphins defense. I got the Colts walking into Miami, winning, and pulling off 2-2 week 4. Then week 5 happens, and they travel to the Baltimore Ravens, October 11th. Prime time, 8:15 p.m. in Baltimore. This is going to be an interesting game. And in all actuality, I think that Baltimore is going to play the Colts tough. But I think the Colts are a different team this year than what they were last year. They have more youth and speed on their defense. Colts are great against the run. I mean, they held Baltimore to the lowest run average in the history of Baltimore when they played them last year. Well, not of the history of Baltimore, but the history of a Lamar Jackson-led Baltimore. They only gave up 110 yards total rushing. I think the Colts' pass defense is going to be better because they're going to have more of a pass rush, younger guys out there using on the pass rush. I think the Colts will actually come away with a win in Baltimore. That's right, payback off a game they should have won last year. So at week 5, they'll be 3-2. Then they host the Houston Texans, October 17th at 1 o'clock. With or without Deshaun Watson, the Houston Texans are a mess. And they lost a lot of players, including J.J. Watt, which will come back to bite us later on in the season, I believe. I got the Colts beating Houston at home. Gives them a 4-2 record. Now, they travel week 7 to the San Francisco 49ers. That's a tough game. Ladies and gentlemen, the San Francisco 49ers You don't know who's going to be there. Is it going to be Jimmy Garoppolo? Is it going to be Trey Lance? I don't know. Either way, I think that this is a homecoming for DeForest Buckner, and he's going to have a field day in the backfield of the San Francisco 49ers offense. I think that there's going to be a lot of problems. It's strength versus strength, run defense versus run game, and I think the Colts defense does a very good job here against the San Francisco running game, whereas the Colts may be one of the best offensive lines in football. At this point, I expect Eric Fisher to be playing at week 7 in October, late October. Yeah, he should be playing. I think Carson Wentz starts to air it out a lot better here. He'll probably air it out week 6 against the Texans, but I think the Colts will do a good job here. I think they'll win against San Francisco. But in week 8, they host the Tennessee Titans again. And I said already they're going to split with them. So I got them winning at home October 31st at 1 p.m. Now, of course, week 9, they face the New York Football Jets. November 4th. That's right. Thursday night football. They host their one and only primetime game they play. Now, they have 4 primetime games that they play, but this is the only one at home. Having 4 primetime games scheduled is an amazing situation in the first place. There's a possibility of a 5th one being played later on in the season. We'll get to that. This is the Jets. The Colts should win this game. Doesn't matter who's playing. Probably Zach Wilson will probably be at quarterback, but by this point, their defense, I don't believe, is nearly good enough to handle the Colts offense, and I think the Colts defense is just much better than the Jets offense currently, and I think they walk out with another win. So they're 7-2 week 9. They started off 1-2, and then they go on a huge winning spree. And then week 10 happens, and they host the Jacksonville Jaguars. They host them November 14th at 1 p.m. Now, it's kind of funny. I know a lot of people are going to look at me and go, well, it's Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got a great offense. And they're going to have Josh Allen, the defensive end pass rusher, back. He was injured last year. A lot of people forget they have him. He's a solid pass rusher. And Jacksonville's offense is great. They were good with Gardner Minshew as an offense. Now they're going to have Trevor Lawrence, and he'll be in the league now for 10 weeks. I think he'll be up to speed by then. Now, it is at home, so you would think the Colts should win this game. But I have a feeling the Indianapolis Colts lose a lot of games they should have won, especially against divisional opponents like the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to give them a loss here to Jacksonville at home. Only because I think that Jacksonville throws the ball very, very, very well, and that is the weak point against this Colts defense, is the pass defense, if you can't get to the quarterback. And in all honesty, I think Trevor Lawrence really steps up in this game and plays well. So that's the 3rd loss of the season for the Indianapolis Colts. But hey, they're 7-3 now. Then we go, the Colts travel November 21st at 1 p.m. to the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills. Oh my. This is going to be a game. This is going to be one of my favorite games to watch. I'd like to be at this game. I doubt I'll be able to. But I want to take a moment before I give my thoughts about this. Please don't forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell so you're notified next time I go live. And don't forget to check out the description of this video for links, not only to my Patreon, which is only $5 a month for everyone. You get all of my stuff, you know, whether it's here somewhere else, podcasts, doesn't matter, everything. Plus, I do Patreon-specific videos for only the patrons. And then, of course, you got my pro shop. Make sure to check out the Colts Law merch shop. The link is in the description of this video. There are a ton of high-quality, reasonably priced items there that you can choose from. And all you got to do is just click one button, and you can go and check out all these great merchandise. Now, let's go ahead and get into this game, right? Shall we? It's at Buffalo. It's a rematch. I'm surprised this is not a primetime game because it was the best game in the playoffs last year. Colts versus Buffalo. It came down to the last play of the game. Indy actually, I believe, should have beat Buffalo, but they didn't. And this is the only game late in the season. From this point on, it's November 21st. It's starting to get cold. Schedule is incredibly favorable after this game, but not for this game. I got the Buffalo Bills winning this game again in a very, very close, high-scoring game by both teams. Week 12 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At home. At home. My goodness. This is going to be a scary game. Let me look at this. I got them losing this game. It's the Super Bowl champs, right? I'm just going to say it. They got a great run defense. They got a great defensive line. They got an amazing offense. Late in the season, Tom Brady is always like on point for some reason. And it's late November. It's November 28th. I don't know if the Colts, do I think they have a chance of beating them? Yes. Especially being that it's at home. But Tom Brady has a history of defeating the Indianapolis Colts. Week 13 at NRG Stadium. Houston Texans, December 5th, 1 o'clock. That's a sweep. This is the game where T.Y. Hilton blows up. NRG Stadium is his second home. He's been somewhat relatively quiet, having a solid but not a spectacular season at wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts. I think he goes in here and he shows, hey, this is still my house. And he helps the Colts defeat the Houston Texans. Week 14, a bye week. In week 14? Are you kidding me? Wow. Week 14 bye. That's as late as I've ever seen it. Well, last year it was like week 6 or week 5. Last few years it's been early in the season. Have a bye week this late? That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Help a lot of guys who are beat up get healthy for the last run of the season getting into the playoffs. Love it. Then week 15 we host the New England Patriots. December 18th or 19th. It's one of those games that can be moved wherever, and it's also a game that could end up being a primetime game. Which, if the New England Patriots do well at this point of the season, this very well could be a primetime game. Now, special note here, the New England Patriots are also coming off their bye. And the New England Patriots have an incredible record off their bye. But the Colts, they're pretty good off their bye as well. So I'm going to take that as, a wash. Both teams coming off their bye. But it is in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I believe that the Indianapolis Colts are a very good team. I think the Colts win this game. I think it's going to be a hard-fought battle between Bill Belichick and Frank Reich. Kind of a chess match. And this will be a very interesting. This is not your previous Indianapolis Colts team that has fought Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. And it's not the same Patriots team, right? This is not Tom Brady led. You don't even know if it's going to be Cam Newton or Mac Jones at quarterback for the New England Patriots. I got the Colts winning. The following week, week 16, they travel to the Arizona Cardinals. Tough. Kyler Murray and that offense is unbelievable. Not to mention, there's two players on that team that really know the Colts. J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins. Right? J.J. Watt's playing bookend to Chandler Jones. I mean, this team, this Arizona team is built so much like the 2000s Indianapolis Colts with a high-powered passing attack and bookend pass rushers to get to the quarterback so that the other team can't keep up with the scoring. This is tough. This is going to be a very, very tough game. Currently right now, this is prime time. It's at Arizona, 8:15 p.m. on Christmas. I love Christmas games. It's going to be nice to be sitting back late Christmas Eve watching the Indianapolis Colts play football for the first time in maybe ever. It's been a while, right? I love this game. I love the opportunity for this game. It's scary because Kyler Murray, passing attack, it's kind of scary. You know, Colts, as I said earlier, weakness is the passing game. They don't have much of a running game, though. And Kyler Murray does like to play hero ball a lot. So, but then again, Josh Allen likes to play hero ball too. And look how that played last year in the playoffs against the Colts. It's going to be tough. Honestly, what do I have so far? I got them losing to LA, the Titans, and then Jacksonville at home, and then Buffalo. Man. Yep. And then Tampa. They got a 3-game loss streak. Not good. I got them winning against Arizona, though. I think they're a better overall team. Then they travel week 17 to the Oakland Raiders. Sorry, Las Vegas Raiders. I still haven't got that right. It's going to be a rampant game. January 2nd, 1 o'clock. And they're going to be in that stadium, that brand new stadium that, you know, was sat empty all of last year of the 2020 season. And it's expensive. It's the most expensive stadium to play in the NFL. I don't see a lot of Colts traveling to go there. It'd be nice. I'd love to see some, but I think the tickets are astronomical. I said earlier the Colts lose some games that they should win. I got them losing to the Raiders. That's their 6th loss of the season. They finish off going to Jacksonville January 9th, 1 o'clock. I got them beating them in Jacksonville. I had them losing to Jacksonville at home. I got them winning at Jacksonville. They're flipping the script. Generally, it's the other way around. This time, I think it's flipped. The only reason is because they're not going to be fighting for a first-round bye. I do not believe the Indianapolis Colts will be fighting for a first-round bye at this point, which means the game is kind of and I think that they'll have the division locked up at this point. Even if they lose the game, I don't think another team will have 11 wins. But they'll still be fighting like heck. I think the Colts still win this game against Jacksonville. And they finish the season off 11-6. I understand a lot of you Colts fans looking at me going 11-6. That's just my predictions. Currently, way too early prediction. I haven't seen a preseason game. Haven't went to training camp. Haven't even seen what they look like week 1 yet versus the Seattle Seahawks. 11-6, I believe, wins the division, gets them into the playoffs, maybe even host one game. I want to thank you so much for watching this breakdown of the Colts 2021 regular season schedule. I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Until next time, have a good one.